Bea Bruske, President of the Canadian Labour Congress, joins us now. Bea, good afternoon and thanks for your time. Let's just first take a look at this Section 107 of the Canada Labour Code, and then I'll come back to you for a question. It basically allows the federal government to step in during a work stoppage if it poses an immediate and serious danger to public health or safety. Why do you want this changed?
Well, we don't think that flight attendants going on strike is an immediate danger to the public, quite frankly. And the overuse of that section to trample on workers' right to strike, which is a constitutionally protected right, over and over again over the last number of years. We saw it in the railway dispute, we saw it in the port dispute, we saw it most recently with Canada Post, is appalling, quite frankly, and it should not be utilized in that way. It's being utilized in a way that employers are seeing this as a crutch instead of being serious at the bargaining table.
How does this section undermine workers' bargaining power, according to you?
When the government inserts itself into the bargaining structure and orders the Canada Industrial Relations Board to make a determination and to send workers back to work, it creates a problem. The only ability workers have to demand better is to withdraw their labor, and that is going on strike. And if you are now having a government consistently interfering with that right, it takes away the power that workers have to actually force their employer to get serious at bargaining tables.
But in this case, we know there is a tentative deal now in place, and that clause of unpaid work has been addressed, according to sources. That's what the union is saying. So how does this then actually go against what is going on? Because they will continue to bargain for a better deal.
At this moment in time, there's a deal that's on the table that needs to be ratified by that union membership, but we have seen this article being used in a number of disputes now that I mentioned just a few minutes ago. There's ongoing bargaining that's happening for the Canada Post workers, right? They're going back to that bargaining table tomorrow. It could potentially get utilized in that space again. It could potentially get utilized in many other rounds of bargaining for federally regulated workers. You know, in the past, when government felt that this was necessary to insert themselves in bargaining, they would table legislation, return to work legislation that had to be debated in the House of Commons, and all parties had to identify where they stood, whether or not they stood with workers or not. And so we think that there's a better way to deal with these issues. Section 107 is not it.
So what are those better issues, and how would you want the government to address this particular issue?
Well, first and foremost, stay out of bargaining. Let the parties make sure that they have to continue bargaining at the bargaining table instead of giving employers a way out by utilizing this section. We've seen an over-reliance by employers on this section, and that means they're not coming to that bargaining table prepared to bargain. We heard it when the Air Canada CEO pointed out that they had no backup plan. Their backup plan was the use of Article 107. And it's interesting how as soon as the union decided to defy that instruction to return to work, Air Canada came up with a better offer.
Okay, we'll leave it at that for this afternoon. Bea Bruske, President of the Canadian Labour Congress, appreciate your time and insights. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.